welcome to Reviews with Love, Christmas edition. Before we get started, please do subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll continue to get updates. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the Hallmark movie, The Santa Stakeout. It was a really nice movie. I really did like this one. It's got Tamira Mowry Housley, who plays Tanya, and Paul Campbell, who plays Ryan. And they are both detectives. Tamira, she just came into town. She's been there for a couple months, and she just recently became a detective. She was sort of like a rookie cop in the beginning, but now she's a full-fledged detective. It actually turns out her father is the chief to the station back home, which was Wisconsin, and now I think they're in Washington. I'm not really sure. I can't remember, to be quite honest with you. But she wanted to make a name for herself, to prove to herself that she can actually become a detective without everyone back home thinking, oh, you only got this position because your dad is the chief. So that's why she's over here. And Ryan, he's just like a goofball. He was really funny, which is played by Paul Campbell, as mentioned. He's really funny, he's got a great personality, and the chemistry between the two of them was amazing. I loved it, believable. I liked their dynamics of, the banter, playful banter. I quite enjoyed it. So, pretty much part of this is the fact that they're both detectives. They actually have to team up to figure out who is stealing things from Christmas parties, and they get their eye on this one man who is Mr. Christmas. So he's always at these Christmas parties, and he's always dressed up as Santa Claus, and they're looking at footage, and it's always him. It turns out Mr. Christmas used to have a record back in the day for, I think, grand theft, something along those lines, basically stealing. And so they have to stake him out, do a stakeout to try and figure out what if he's planning another heist of some sort. So it turns out they find out where he lives, and next door happens to be a house that's available for rent. And they get the permission from their chief or something to rent out the house so they could do the stakeout. They could be watching what's going into the house, out of the house, what he's doing. So pretty much they do that, and you can already see the connection happening between the two of them. So the guy is, he's very involved in the neighborhood. He's actually running all these different groups and stuff. There's part of a neighborhood Christmas committee, all this stuff. So they decide to join it because now they've got to pretend like they're married. And Mr. Miller, who's the person they're doing the stakeout of, not sure what that makes sense, but the person that they're watching, Mr. Miller, he's so friendly, so sweet. So they're like, I don't know if he's this, criminal mastermind anymore. I mean, yeah, he did that in the past, but I just don't know. It's just not fitting. But either way, they're like, there's some suspicious things going on. They're looking in his house because they get invited for charades, doing sorts of games, Christmas caroling, and turns out their connection between Tanya and Ryan are getting stronger as they're doing all these different events. They're getting to know each other much better. They're being quite surprised by what each other can actually do, and they figured, oh, shouldn't have jumped to conclusions or assumed something about you in the beginning, but now I definitely see that you're a completely different person. So there's all that going on. So there's a lot of these neighborhood activities that's taking place, and they're quite enjoying themselves, and they're loving everyone that's in the neighborhood. But the point is, it turns out Mr. Miller, well, I guess I don't want to spoil it, it turns out good. Spoiler alert, no, it turns out good. What they thought wasn't what they thought. Pretty much, you know, the whole bit, they end up together. It's a love story, obviously, which is why I watch. Ryan actually ends up buying that house, or renting it. I'm not sure if he bought it, but he definitely was renting it. He decided to move in, and I think he's got a problem with feeling comfortable in places, because he got divorced, and since then he just hasn't had a connection with anyone, but was really loving his connection with Tanya. So yeah, pretty much I'll say I definitely really love this one. You should definitely check it out. I don't want to mess it up. I'm sure I will sometimes with some of these, but as far as that's what I remember. But it was a really good movie. I loved it. Chemistry was fantastic. They were quite funny, especially Paul Campbell. Yeah, it went smoothly, and there was no, my famous thing, no drama of that, like, you know, crazy, weird, oh my gosh, out of the blue, what happened? No, none of that happened. It was realistic thing that happened. Someone ended up stealing something again as they were in the house and were watching Mr. Miller, but he disappeared for like 1 second, but they were like, it's just not possible. I mean, we just took our eyes off of him for 1 second. So they ended up being kicked off the case. And I'll say that's like really what happened, but instead of them like turning on each other, which in some cases that's probably what would happen, they actually leaned into each other to like figure out, well, what's going on? Something just doesn't seem right. We talked to him. So they didn't have that weird blow up, you know, right before the happy ending. None of that happened. So I would definitely say, yeah, I enjoyed that. That made me love the movie even more, to be quite honest with you. I was like, oh, thank goodness. And because I was all of a sudden like thinking, oh, that didn't happen in this one. Because they do it all the time. Like mostly. Some will, like I mentioned in the other video. But yeah, I love that fact that didn't happen in this one, and it was more natural, and yeah, so great chemistry, great movie. Check it out. It was on Hallmark. The Santa Stakeout. Samira, Maury Housley, Paul Campbell. I think there's a couple other people, but yeah, loved it. Enjoyed it. I know there's going to be plenty more that I'm going to like, especially one that's coming up this week, I think. So yeah, definitely gonna like that one for sure as well. Singing is involved. Anytime singing is involved, great. Do check out my other channel, Lovelyn and Woozia, by the way. That's where I post like music stuff, and I'm gonna be doing some new stuff on that too. So check it out, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, do as you wish. But thank you again for listening. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.